Welcome to another Quick Bob's vlog. I'm back in lovely Northwood in Cowes. Last week, Surgeries in Cowes visited the White Links Fishbourne Terminus for an environmental event. Had a meeting with Natural England about changes to the coastal path. That was in Newtown. Visited Liz Earle's plant in Rye to hear about their exciting plans for the future. Visited 4D Sports in Newport Harbour. We had a meeting with the council on reopening old railway lines, which I'll come back to in a second. I spent a very interesting visit to Parkhurst and Albany prisons, and I have to say I was very impressed by the staff I met there, the work that they do, and their governor as well, Doug Graham, who was an exceptionally impressive individual. So it was good to go, and thank you to all the prison guards I met, and indeed to the governor. And I've written to thank them for taking the time to talk. And we also visited White Building Materials as well, who run a couple of quarries on the island. Reopening old railway lines, there's a little bit of work going on about that at the moment, and we're making the case to government to have a feasibility study to looking at reopening old railway lines, primarily focused on to see if it's feasible to extend from Shanklin to Ventnor the line, so through Ventnor Tunnel, and then looking at the options for extending or having a public connection, a rail connection between Ryde and Newport. Now these are only feasibility studies at the moment, and we have to see if it is feasible. But one of my aims certainly is to get more work done on improving public transport on the island, so not only buses but also cycle routes, but also railways where we can. So we had a meeting last week, and I'm presenting a case to government which is going in tomorrow on the feasibility study for reopening old railway lines. This week on Tuesday I hosted a debate in Westminster Hall, so that's the second parliamentary chamber, on special education needs and children on the island with education, health and care plans. We have a higher than national average for people with plans. That's 4.4% of kids in our schools as opposed to 3.1%, and a slightly higher number of children with SEN, so special education needs or disabilities. I think we're running at about nearly 12% rather than the 11%. The government confirmed that we were getting about £850,000 more to support our SEN need, and I made the case actually that we needed more work being done. There is a government review at the moment of special education needs, and I get a lot of parents coming to see me about special education needs on the island. And so it's an issue that I've been monitoring closely, and that we will be contributing to the government review to see if we can get more support for island schools for those kids with education and healthcare plans, but also special education needs. Yesterday Tuesday, I also met with Matt Hancock, the Secretary of State, to discuss health again and to discuss funding for the Isle of Wight. There is a programme that the government are expanding or developing called the Unavoidably Small Hospitals Scheme, and that affects about a dozen hospitals in the United Kingdom, although bizarrely Norfolk and Cornwall are not yet included in that scheme, so it may be a bit more. So they're looking at a dozen hospitals which are described as being unavoidably small, either because they're very isolated, or in the Isle of Wight's case because St Mary's is on an island. And we're looking to see how we can get greater support to those isolated communities, and especially the Isle of Wight, which counts as the most isolated because we're separated from the mainland by water. So that is ongoing. I've invited the Health Minister to the island to come and talk to island health officials and to meet our doctors and nurses to see what a great job they do in sometimes difficult circumstances. What else? Tomorrow I'm off to Ryde Academy for a careers event, or I think this is going out Friday morning, so I'm probably there as this is being uploaded, and then I'm catching up with the deputy leader of the council. Isle of Wight Radio Business Awards Friday evening, really looking forward to that, that'll be great. And then I've got a couple of meetings on Saturday, including meeting with ladies who've been affected by mesh implants as well, which will be I think very interesting, and looking forward to talking to them and listening to their experiences. Lots of work still going on in the island plan and island deal. I'm presenting my island plan submission to the council again by Friday afternoon, and then meeting with council planning officials in a week, and then talking again to council leaders, but also to all councillors about that in the next month, 6 weeks or so. So I'll keep you updated with that as well. That's all from me for the moment. Sorry it was a little bit long. I have tried to keep it brief, but I wanted to keep you up to date with everything that I'm doing. Have a good weekend, and I will speak to you next week. Thank you.